International Speedway. After an exciting previous season, we enter 2022 with our heads held high and with a lot of teams with a lot of new hope. As over 30 drivers and over 10 different teams search for a championship. Jeff James on pole position. Noah Hart on the outside for Rodriguez Racing in the number 18. Green flag in the air. Jeff James easily clears out in front immediately with a great start. Brandon Crasta, though, in the 8 car, he immediately gets a better start. He goes from 3rd, and he may be looking at 1st place before the end of turn number 2. It did not take pole sitter Jeff James long to fall out of the top 2, as Brandon Crasta for CM Racing got a really mega start. And he leads here for the opening lap. Comes up to block the 87, who also got a run off at turn 2. Now comes down to block the 74 of Jack Halleck, who has Sebastian Kukulon behind him. And Kukulon with a massive shove to the 74. Who's going to lead the opening lap? It looks like it's going to be Crasta at the line, but Halleck's going to make a run, and Halleck does not get there in time. Crasta leads the first lap of the 2022 season. One of the big early topics of the weekend was Kev Shearer, the previous season champion, the defending series champion. I guess that's the right way to say it. He started dead last after a pretty rough qualifying effort from the 0 team, and now he has moved up to the 39th place position. It definitely looks like he may be staying out of the pack, as he can see the 10 plus row 3Y action going on above him. But Kev Shearer, the defending series champion, was not very happy about his practice and qualifying efforts. And we'll see how long it takes for the 0 car to get to the front. He is definitely the driver to look out for today to really make some pretty impressive moves at the front. Meanwhile, it is a dogfight at the front of the field, 3 wide, almost 10 rows deep, as Sebastian Kukulon comes out with the lead. And he has got a very large, hungry pack behind him. And this is the big concern. We've seen some cars in practice get some really nice runs once they get out in clean air. But this is the bad part of it. You get everyone drafting back up to you as Crasta shoves his way up next to the 92. And now Crasta around the outside trying to make a pass on Kukulon to retake the lead. He's going to get help from the 87 of Tim Fiegel right behind him. So far for these first 10 or so laps, it has been a roulette wheel at the front of the field, as the 64 of Leighton Sanders with a nice bump from the 84 tries to come up and take the lead from the 71 of RJ Bishop as they made contact for the lead. And that was interesting. Sanders came up across the track into the 71 and they got together, and fortunately that didn't get any worse than that, but oh boy, that is not the type of racing you want to see right in front of a large pack. They are dogfighting 3 wide for the lead, but look at this. Kev Shearer in the first 10 or so laps of the race has gone from dead last into the top 10, and he may get into the top 5 at the end of this lap here, as he's got a really big run off of turn 4 as the 10 shoves him through. Kev Shearer, the defending Hardee's National Series champion, and he is letting the field know that that is not going to possibly change anytime soon, as he immediately gets into the top 6 as he clips the apron at the bottom. And somehow that didn't hurt the car, as he moves up into 3rd place, now into 2nd, now looking for the lead as the 10 gets behind him. One Ford on the outside, a Dodge in the middle, and now a Chevy on the bottom, as here comes Kev Shearer to the lead. But RJ Bishop in that 71, in the Turner Performance Motors car, he's got some very strong help from a Ford on the outside as well. And Kev Shearer, look at this, can he get the lap lead here? Not quite. Bishop holds on. Jeff James, the pole sitter in the 96. He has fallen roughly almost dead last after starting on pole position, and this is just the nature of super speedways, is a lot of times you get up to the front and then the minute you get into the wrong lane, you find yourself at the back. And now Jeff James finally going to try and work his way back forward here. The bottom line seems to be the preferred groove so far, but Jeff James definitely not the start of the race he wanted to have. But he is still in this thing, and considering the three wide mammoth pack around him, perhaps it might be best for him to be in the back for the time being. As we are currently coming up on pit stops, we talked about how this has been a roulette wheel at the front, and just to show how much of a roulette it is, here's Lars Van Schaik in the 33 for Fitzwater Racing, heading towards the lead. And this is quite the accomplishment. Fitzwater Racing, who really struggled to qualify for races last season, that's a bit of an understatement. They are now having a car at the lead here, as the 33 is planning to run full time this year, with the 59 back there in the outside lane of Allison Rain planning to run a part-time schedule. And Noah Hart, who started on the outside pole, he's going to get to the lead here. Noah Hart, one of the championship contenders of last season, scored more top fives than anyone else in the field with 12. He's got the lead, and he's trying to defend as the 87 tried to look for a move on him, and Hart goes up to the outside to pick up Lars. As the 77 Diego Yepes moves forward, with Sebastian Kukulon pushing yet another car towards the lead. We are getting reports over the radio that teams are starting to kick off pit stops here. We are expecting the fuel window to be roughly in between 25 and 30 laps here as we get a crash in the back of the field. The 21 of JD Martin went around, and the 11, the 4 of Lamas around, as well as we have a small one at the very tail end of the field as a couple of cars get to pit lane before they can take the caution flag. It looked like that was the 90, the 9 of Bobo Jones, and the 8 of Brandon Crasta who got to pit road. Let's get a replay of what happened here. Sean Angel in the 44 behind the 11 of Ross Jackson. Ross Jackson gets loose in turn 3, goes up towards the wall. Angel comes up into him and turns him into the cars below him as the 93 of James Ellison goes around. And Ryan Butcher in the 88 looks like he got a pretty big piece of it as well. After our first caution of the season, we head back towards this our finish line for our first restart of the season here, as Bobo Jones in the 9 and the 90 of Nick Pericles, they both pitted coming to the caution flag before, so they didn't have to come in again. But the 72nd Diego Yepes has a problem in the 4 Mustang. He's slow on the bottom here. Diego Yepes, he looks like he's got a tire down. That car does not look like it's turning, as everyone has to do evasive maneuvers as the caution comes right back out, as Yepes struggling onto the track, and he's going to have to get towed to pit road. Luckily, his pit stall is right there, so he shouldn't lose too much time, but Diego Yepes in trouble. We are also being told that Noah Hart in the 18 on the start also had a bit of a problem. He as well had a tire problem in the 18 car. Look, he has almost a very similar problem to Diego Yepes here. You can see the way the car's turning on the banking. And Noah Hart, the outside pole sitter, I think he's going to be able to get to pit lane. But this is not a very good moment for the 18 team. This is going to set them back a little bit. Eric DeMax here. Remember, some of the field did cross the line before the caution came out again. About roughly half the field made it, and Eric DeMax, he's going to cross the line and take the lead here after a very confusing start. And you can see Diego Yepes and Noah Hart have already gone back out onto the racetrack and fixed their tires. We are being told that Diego Yepes and Noah Hart managed to get back on track before the leaders were able to cross the line. So they should be able to get back on the lead lap here. And what a massive break for these two teams to have a tire failure and a caution come out on your behalf and to not even lose a lap for it. Oh boy, oh, we got trouble at the back of the field as the 45 of Bradley Bishop Jr. and the 42 of Dunlap Pratt have gone into the back of a couple of cars here. And so another contact in the front. Kyle Collins just got hit from behind by Lane Sanders as more cars come in. Several cars come flying in. Remember, half the field crossed the line and were able to get up to full speed, but the cars behind, they're catching up, and I don't think they saw that field coming. They were going about 40 miles per hour on the backstretch, and now several cars with significant damage. Oh, Brandon Crasta, one of the fastest cars of the race, in trouble, and that is very bad damage. He got into the incident. The 10 got into the incident as well. Ryan Butcher looks like he has damage. Lamas may have damage as well. We saw LaPrade get into it. James Ellison with damage. JD Martin with the 21 with a problem as well. He's got a hood up as well. As does the 44 of Sean Angel. As Noah Hart and Diego Yepes, they come around to get their quote-unquote wave around. So this is what happens. A lot of these guys who basically took the yellow flag again, they're all trying to catch up, and this is just a mess. Julio Season to 10 tried to slow down as best he can, but it was a massive blockade right in front of the track. Here's Brandon Crass's point of view here. And yeah, maybe a little too slow on the brakes here is big contact into the back of the 10 of Julio Caesar. And he gets hit from behind as well. Oh, we got problem for Eric DeMax in the one car, the leader. He's got some kind of problem. He is pulled down below the yellow apron. Eric DeMax into his pit stall, and his day is done. The one team reporting an ignition failure. And hopefully this will be a cleaner restart as the 22 of Luke Martin now takes the lead after Eric DeMax had to retire the car for a problem, as it has been quite the tough day for CM Racing so far. Crasta and Eric DeMax both out. And we'll see if Luke Martin can hold this lead here as the 94 of Hannah Allen immediately gets below him and looks to take the lead. But with more cars out of the race, as several cars, that's just the 10, the 64, the 8, and the 87 are all out due to the backstretch incident, we have to assume that we are going to have a little bit less three-way racing now. Well, perhaps I spoke a little bit too soon, as they are immediately back to three-way racing here as Gatlin Downey takes the lead here. And the 16 of Jake West immediately, with help from Jeff James, his teammate, as the Joseph Sarigli racing cars, they're trying to make a bid towards the front, but that's not going to last long as Jeff James immediately gets shuffled out of line by the 84. And seems we are now back to the status quo. Or perhaps not, as Sebastian Kukulon got into the back of the 59. And we have another small one, but this time at the front of the field as Kev Shearer has been spun around. Contact in the middle of the lead pack. I believe it was Kukulon who got into the back of the 59. And now even more cars with damage. Here's a replay of the incident here. Sebastian Kukulon looking to try, maybe make it 4 wide here. Thought better of it. Comes up into the 59, who was up against the wall, and turns her into the 90. And I'm not quite sure what sent the 0 car round, as the 08 also got involved as well. Here's a replay of the incident from the fan cam here, as we are going to follow Kev Shearer through this incident. And let's get another view of this. Sebastian Kukulon comes up into the 59 here. The 59 went way up north near the wall. And Kukulon, I think, just misjudged the bumper and all the zero weight of Dewey Schramm with a very nasty hit in turn 4. As Kev Shearer, that's what sent him around. A little bit of a ping pong action for the zero car, and CM Racing just can't seem to not get involved in something tonight. Or today. Depends on where you live. Here we go for the restart. Nick Breeding in the 54 for Rodriguez Racing here. It has been a very chaotic last 10 laps or so, and I think a lot of people are going to be hoping it gets a little bit calmer here, as we are back under green here as the 29 of Kyle Springer and the 35 of Doug Lockrow in third place here. And he immediately makes a move below Springer for second place here as Breeding. He does not have a lot of Toyota help behind him at the moment, so this should be very interesting. Hannah Allen, the 94 car, she is very much off the pace here as she got involved in the previous crash. And the reason why we're showing her is the FBRL Hardee stewards announced to the teams a couple of days ago after qualifying that they were going to be instituting a minimum speed rule for Daytona this weekend. And the minimum speed rule was set to 160 miles per hour, and why we're showing Allen is, well, she's running 150 miles per hour and is about almost 10 seconds off the pace, as the lead pack is running just above 180 miles per hour, and you have to imagine the stewards are going to pull her in here at any second here, as she is very much violating the minimum speed rule. And the 94 of Hannah Allen, she has been black flagged, as she has not made the minimum speed threshold, and the 94 team, they are going to be done for the afternoon. Back over to the leaves here as the 12 of Galen Downey is in the lead here, with the 04 of Patrick Smith behind, and the 96 of Jeff James gets turned into the field, and somehow they didn't crash. Unbelievable! Jeff James got help from somebody. I think that was the 74 of Jack Halleck. And miraculously, the field has kept it going. That was almost another potential big one there. And Jeff James looks like he may have some damage here. He is trying to get back up to speed here. Here's a replay of the incident here. My mistake. It wasn't Jeff James that got turned. It was the 36 of Ace Wild who gets turned by the 74 of Jake Halleck. And oh my goodness me, I got no clue how they didn't lose it there. But Jeff James, he cannot be happy about what just happened here. But also could suppose it could have been worse there, as the field just got away with one. Jeff James may have a problem here, and then maybe from that contact with Ace Wild, as Wild is also struggling to keep up with the pace. The 96. I think he's got some very significant aero damage. You can see on the right side of the car, that thing is caved in. And that is a shame for Jeff James, our pole sitter. And it is definitely going to be very tough to come back from this one. Bradley Bishop Jr. in the 45. He has been black flagged as well for failing to maintain minimum speed, just like the 94 of Hannah Allen. And that was unfortunate for the 45 team. AFRT definitely brought some decent cars this weekend, but Bishop's afternoon is over. Look at this front row here. Noah Hart and Diego Yepes. These were the two who had their tire problem on a previous restart here. We saw them get their cars to pit lane. Yepes, in fact, got towed and didn't lose a lap here, and now they're back here fighting for the lead. As we are past the halfway point here. And it seems like that tire problem didn't really affect their cars, as they are very much keeping up with the pack very easily. Jeff James brings his number 96 Dodge Dart to pit lane here, as they are going to fix the damage on the car, as it is not handling very well. And that's a shame for Jeff James here. They should be able to get this car fixed, as the engine is definitely very much working just fine, but they're going to lose a lot of time doing this. But fortunately, they are in the fuel window, so they should not have to pit for the rest of the afternoon. As this lead pack continues to jockey for positions, we are going to be expecting pit stops within the next 10 to 15 laps here, as they will be the final stops of the afternoon. And they're coming up on lap traffic here. Ryan Butcher and James Ellison, who are both off the pace. They're above the minimum threshold. They're running in the high 160s here, but they're about to get swamped by this pack, and we'll see how they handle this here. Butcher in the 88 and the 93, they're making it clear they're going to the bottom. But how will they navigate the lap cars here as Butcher comes up the track to take the outside line? That's going to hurt the number 02 of Jordan Fisher. But now Hart gets up to the 93 of James Ellison, who also changes his lane. Ellison was keeping to the outside, and he did finally get out of the way, but lap traffic definitely not making this easy for the drivers around them. However, what this chaos does allow is the 29 of Kyle Springer and the 35 of Doug Lockrow to take 1-2 for the time being with 20 laps to go. The 29 for S3 Motorsports and the 35 for Gatlin Downey Incorporated here. They are in the mix here, and if they can get a good pit stop here, we'll see if they can contend for this win. But you can see here, that is a strong pair of Fisher cars in the bottom here as the 02 and the 12 shove their way back towards the lead. Jeff James back on track. He is one lap down as they had to spend over 30 seconds repairing the damage on the 96 car. He is now trying not to fall 2 laps down here. And he's going to come up in front of Noah Hart. It looked like James was going to run the middle here to make it easier for everybody, but Jeff James goes to the outside. Now, fortunately, this car I don't think will be off the pace, so this shouldn't jumble things too much here, but you have to imagine Noah Hart is not very happy with the lap traffic here. This is the second lap car that has cost him the lead. As they come up on the 42 of Dunn LaPrade here. Yepes goes to the outside to go around LaPrade. And nice job by Yepes to get through, as Patrick Smith in the 04 also makes it through. He's going to take second place. Final stops of the day begin. Cory Williams brings in a pack of cars with him, and we'll see where these guys shake out here as Kev Shearer in the 0 car is blown up on pit lane. Kev Shearer, he just came to pit road the previous lap, and the 0 car with a massive engine failure. So let's see what happens to Kev Shearer here. He comes into pit lane. Remember, he qualified last, so he has the first pit stall. I was surprised to see his car smoking. I was expecting seeing him smoking coming to pit lane, but we saw that he wasn't in his stall. But it turns out he had pitted the previous lap, so what happened here? Oh my goodness, the 0 car just blew up the minute he shifted into first gear. Holy cow, I've never seen anything like that before. Kev Shearer had just finished his pit stop. I'm not sure if the transmission failed or what, but oh my goodness. What an unfortunate break for the 0 car and for CM Racing, as this is their 3rd car who has encountered problems so far today. Oh, we got a problem here. Kev Shearer is merging back onto the racetrack with a blown engine, and he is keeping several cars behind him, as no one has gone around yet, so no yellow has been thrown. But Jake West and the others, they're stuck below him because they can't move to the high side because it's a live racetrack. Oh, Kev Shearer, he is not making a lot of friends here. Everyone wants to go up above, but they're scared that the faster car's coming up behind. Remember, the green flag is still out. Oh, Kev Shearer almost comes up into the 41 of Kyle Collins. And he finally gets out of the way, but everyone's having to take evasive action as Kev Shearer, he is being an absolute menace right now. He is struggling to keep that car straight. No caution thrown, But the zero car of Kev Shearer, I'm not sure what he was thinking by pulling onto the surface like that, and he has just cost a lot of lead lap cars a chance at this win unless a caution can come out. At the end of the pit cycle, Diego Yepes has taken the lead with Patrick Smith in the 04 for SG Motorsports in second place. As the pit stops definitely separate the field a little bit here. Patrick Smith, he's going to try to make a pass for the lead here on Diego Yepes, but I'm not sure this is a good idea. Yepes and Smith, they've got roughly a 3-second lead over 4th through 8th place, and Noah Hart, who is now catching them behind 2 seconds back as well. I don't foresee these two being out in the front for very long, as Noah Hart, he's falling back to come pick up the other cars, as they're going to make a run at these two here, as they are now encountering lap traffic as well. 7 laps to go here at Daytona. Patrick Smith and Diego Yepes have the lead, but here comes the cavalry, as the 02 of Jordan Fisher, the 74 of Jack Halleck, they are making big runs at the front two here. And Patrick Smith, he's going to take the lead for a very brief moment from Diego Yepes, but Fisher immediately makes his move. And here come the others. Noah Hart with a push from Doug Lockrow in the 35 and the 34 of John Art. We have not seen much of him today. But as we head towards the final couple of laps here, it is going to be an 8-car fight for the win. Here they come up on Ryan Butcher again. We saw what happened last time they got to Butcher here. Butcher's going to go to the outside. That's going to hurt the 02 of Fisher. And that's going to allow Jack Halleck to take the lead here. And Butcher, he is not helping. He is definitely maybe off a couple of Christmas card lists this year, and it's only March. But Jack Halleck here with the lead. Noah Hart, the outside pole sitter, right behind him in second place with 6 laps to go. 5 to go. Jack Halleck here trying to hold on to the lead. He's got the 77 of Yepes behind him, who's getting a massive shove from Jordan Fisher, who has already made up the time lost because of Ryan Butcher. That 02 has got some really good drafting power to it. That thing is not losing any speed whatsoever, no matter what you do to the thing. And Yepes comes up into the 74 a little bit there in turn 3. That was a bit unnecessary, as now it's going to allow Fisher to get below him as we are coming to 3 to go. Coming up on 2 laps to go here, Jordan Fisher has the lead, but he's got 2 rows behind him with some very strong cars here, and Fisher, has he got out to a too big of a lead here? 2 laps to go here at Daytona in the Hardee's National Series. Fisher has the lead. Diego Yepes gets a massive run into turn 1. He immediately makes a move to the bottom lane. Here comes Noah Hart though. He's got momentum. He's going to shove the 77 forward. We are coming to the white flag this time. Noah Hart and Diego Yepes, the 2 comeback kings of the day. They are both in contention for this win. Hart comes up into the 77 here. He is all over that 77's bumper. Here comes Noah Hart as we take the white flag. He immediately jukes through Diego Yepes and takes the lead with help from his teammate Nick Breeding. Nick Breeding in the 54 for Rodriguez Racing, helping his teammate Noah Hart take the lead. And now they're running 1-2. But what does Breeding do? What choice does Breeding make? Noah Hart's leaving some room on the bottom here for Breeding. Will Breeding take the run though? He doesn't. He's going to go with Noah Hart. The Rodriguez team sticking together to the bitter end. But here comes Doug Lockrow in the 35 for Gatlin Downey Incorporated. Off at turn number 4 as they come to take the checker flag. Noah Hart's going to have no competition behind him. Noah Hart wins the Hardee's National Series race season opener at Daytona. With a last lap pass, Noah Hart takes the checkered flag. And with double thanks to Nick Breeding, who made the choice to stick with him. And you have got to imagine Rodriguez Racing, they are thrilled with what just occurred. But Noah Hart here, a championship contender last year, makes an incredibly amazing comeback today. He takes the checker flag here at Daytona. But how about this? Doug Lockrow for Gatlin Downey Incorporated, who attempted 10 races last season. They qualified for 2 of them, did not do very well, and they kick off their 2022 campaign with a very impressive second place finish. And you have got to imagine that team must be feeling very emotional. Patrick Smith is well for SB Motorsports. What a massive result for him, finishing 4th place today. Nick Breeding obviously comes across the line in 3rd place. And John Arndt gets himself a top 5 finish here. Jack Halleck in the 74 finishes in 6th place. Diego Yepes impressively finishing in 7th place here. Although very unfortunate what happened in the last lap, was leading, fell to 7th. Very unfortunate for Yepes.